I, Manoj Kumar Chaudhary, Advocate, Supreme Court of India, welcome you all on behalf of Nani Palkiwala National Law Club. Today we have Mr. Jayprakash Somani, Advocate, Supreme Court of India, to discuss the different case laws involving Transfer of Property Act 1882. This act basically deals with the transfer of property by act of parties through sale, mortgage, lease, exchange, gift of immovable property, apart from transfer of actionable claims, which is related to that particular property. Over to you, sir, for discussing the different case laws.
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj. Friends, let me share you the, we will discuss today matter related to the Transfer of Property Act, and I have sorted 15 significant judgments. But before that, I want to elaborate you regarding the Transfer of Property Act. In this act, total chapters are 8, total sections are 137. One schedule is there, and latest amendment was in 2002. So give me few seconds. So yes. So friends, Transfer of Property Act 1882 is a key piece of legislation in India that regulates the transfer of property between individuals. Here is an overview of its main aspects. First, I will give you key features of this act. 1. Types of properties. The act covers both movable and immovable properties, though it primarily focused on immovable properties such as land and buildings. Modes of transport. It outlines various ways in which property can be transferred, including sale, mortgage, lease, gift. Sale, transfer of ownership in exchange for a price. Mortgage, transfer of an interest in property as a security for a loan. Lease, permission given by the owner to another person to use the property for a specified period. Gift, voluntary transfer of ownership without any consideration. Key feature number 3, rights and liabilities. The Act specified the rights and responsibilities of both the transferor and transferee, ensuring fairness in transactions. 4. Contracts. The Act integrates with the Indian Contract Act 1872, highlighting the importance of mutual consent in agreements related to property transfer. 4. Registration. Certain types of property transfers must be registered to the effective, protecting the interest of all parties involved. 6. Restrictions. It lays down specific rules about the condition under which property can be transferred, preventing any unlawful transfer. 7. Doctrine of part performance. This is very important in litigation of property matters. This principle allows individual to protect their rights in certain situations, even if the property transfer has not been formally registered. So, overall importance of this act is the Transfer of Property Act serves as a foundation for real estate transaction in India, aiming to provide a clear and fair process for transferring property rights, thereby promoting legal stability in properties dealings. If you have any specific questions, okay, so all these questions will be automatically covered in this next my 15 significant judgments, which I sorted for you. So, first significant judgment of Transfer of Property Act 1882 is K. Verma versus Union of India, This case was decided in 1954. Fact: dispute arose over the sale of property without a registration deed. Decision of court: the court held that transactions must adhere to statutory requirement. Ratio descended in this case. Registration is essential for a transfer of property. And citation of this matter is AIR 1954 SC 33. So I am giving you in very brief fact, decision, ratio, and citation, so that we can cover easily 15 cases within a half hour. Second, Gurdial Singh versus State of Punjab. This case was decided in 1970. Facts: issues on right of a tenant after the sale of property. Decision: the right of tenant must be protected even after transfer. So, even though sale is done, but tenant right will be protected. Ratio descending, the property transfer does not extinguish pre-existing right of tenant. Citation AIR 1970 SC 1070. Case number 3, Shakuntala versus Union of India 1972. Facts: the contention over a transfer of property without the rightful owner's consent. Decision: held that property cannot be transferred without consent. Ratio descending, consent is crucial for a valid transfer. Citation AIR 1972 SC 2068. Case number 4, Sant Lal Jain versus Delhi Development Authority. This case was decided in 2004. Facts: conflict over allotment of rights and transfer. Decision: recognize the right of allottee to transfer their interests. So, ratio descending of this case is the rights of allottees under Transfer of Property Act are to be acknowledged. Citation AIR 2004 SC 837. Some audience, some law students, some lawyer may be facing some difficulty in property matter, because property matter, then transfer to legal heir matter, that is called Succession Act matter, like that. These are the most difficult matter in handling any litigation. So a person who is expert in property matter can be said expert in law. That is the situation. So if you read some judgment on property matters, Transfer of Property Act or Succession Act, that time you will gain the much good practical knowledge of these laws and how this matter we are handling in Supreme Court or High Court or in trial court. Okay, like that. And there are, you will find my few books on property, Transfer of Property Act also, Supreme Court, some leading case laws. There is my book published on Amazon and Flipkart also. Just type there Jayprakash Somani books. So you will find all my more than 60 books on that platform. And it is my privilege, with the grace of Lord Krishna, I am handling all type of matter, all type of property matter in the Supreme Court of India. So nothing is difficult. If any other lawyer can do the property matter, then why we should not do? Just think this point and don't say no to any matter. Don't be a stamp of as a property lawyer, as a criminal lawyer, as a civil lawyer, as a corporate lawyer, as a insolvency lawyer. Don't stamp yourself. Be free to practice in any segment, friends. So this is my just like advice. So Case number 4 now. Sujata versus State of Madhya Pradesh. This case was decided in 2010. Fact: a property dispute involving a sale deed questioned for legitimacy. Decision: validated sale deed as per the Transfer of Property Act. And ratio decidendi in this case, proper documentation is vital for property transfer. So proper document is very, very important, vital for property transfer. Citation of this case was AIR 2010 SC 123. Case number 5. KK Verma versus Union of India, 1998. Earlier, KK Verma case was 1954, first case, which I already read. Now this is also KK Verma versus Union of India, but this case was decided in 1998. These are both different cases. Facts: post-transfer right of prior owner were challenged. Decision: post-ownership right remain intact until substantial otherwise. Ratio decidendi: transfers do not negate underlying ownership right without a due process. So this is very good. Ratio decidendi is came out of this case. Transfer do not negate underlying ownership right without a due process. So citation of this case AIR 1998 SC 1853. Case number 6. Indian Oil Corporation versus Amritsar Gas Services. This case was decided in 2009. Facts: dispute over property transfer involving a public sector entity. Decision: upheld the principle that public interest must be safeguarded during transfer. Ratio decidendi: public assets must not be diminished through improper transfer. So citation AIR 2009 SC 1710. Then case number 7, HP Sharma versus State of Uttar Pradesh, 2012. Facts: legal complications were cited during a property sale. Decision: acknowledged validity of parameters of Transfer of Property Act are met. Ratio decidendi: legal compliance is essential in property transactions. And citation AIR 2012 SC 1312. Excuse me. Case number 8, MTNL versus Khiki Gira, 2018. Fact: a claim was made over joint property allocation following transfer disputes. Decision: established clarity on the joint ownership norms. And ratio decidendi: clarity on rights and obligation under joint property transfer. And citation of this case is AIR 2018 SC 174. Number 9. Sundaram Finance Limited versus State of Kerala, 2019. Facts: claims over financial rights during property transactions. Decision: validated the significance of adhering to financial conditions. And ratio decidendi of this case is financial agreements are integral to property transfer validity. Once again, I am repeating, financial agreements are integral to property transfer validity. And citation AIR 2019 SC 113. 10. P.K. Suresh versus State of Karnataka, 2021. Facts. Dispute over property transfer lacking substantial agreements. And decision. Held transfer void without valid documentation. When valid documentation is not there, so court has decided to be considered that a void, held transfer void without valid documentation. So ratio descendi, documentation is paramount for enforceable transfer. And citation AIR 2021 SC 675. Now, case number 11, A.K. Verma versus Liquidator, 2021 case. Fact, controversy on the power of agents concerning properties transfer. Decision, reinforce the limitations of agency in property matters. Ratio descendi, agents have defined role under the Transfer of Property Act. And citation AIR 2021 SC 912. Case number 12, Rani versus State of Haryana, 2022. Facts, involved scheme transfers without proper compliance. Decision, clarified the requirement for compliance in government schemes. Ratio descendi, statute guide transfer in public interest. Statute guide transfer in public interest. Citation AIR 2022 SC 1356. Krishnan Lal versus State of Haryana, 2020. Facts, ownership concern transfer of post-transfer involving state lands. Ownership concern post-transfer involving state lands. Decision, upon constitutional privileges in ownership exchanges. And ratio descendi, constitutional backing is a vital for public trust in transfers. Citation AIR 2020 SC 1115. Case number 14, Messrs. Lakshmi Engineering Works versus PSG Industrial Estate 2010. Facts, issue arose over completion of contract versus property rights. Issue arose over completion of contract versus property rights. Decision upheld regarding contract obligation despite transfer. And ratio descendi, contractual duties persist beyond simpler transfer. And citation AIR 2010 SC 594. So overall conclusion of this particular our webinar is all the judgment illustrate various factual of Transfer of Property Act, emphasizing contract validity, consent, necessary documentation, consideration, etc. and etc. So this is the regarding today's webinar, friends. And I will ask Manoj, now you can unmute yourself. Yeah, and conclude this session.
Thank all the participants. Thank you, sir. We have such a great brief of the transfer of property at different cases, which deals with tenant rights, joint properties, and the transfer of in a public interest. So it has covered all the angles which is related to the Transfer of Property Act. Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants once again.
नमस्कार, मैं पूजा राय आपको एडवोकेट जयप्रकाश सोमानी जी का थोड़ा सा परिचय करके देती हूँ। जयप्रकाश बंसीलाल सोमानी सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में अधिवक्ता हैं। 12 जूनियर के साथ वो लॉ फर्म चलाते हैं, जिसमें 5 AOR हैं। सोमानी जी भारत के हर राज्य और केंद्र शासित प्रदेश के मैटर बखूबी हैंडल करते हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट केस लॉ के ऊपर उनकी 61 किताबें प्रकाशित हुई हैं, जो Amazon और फ्लिपकार्ट पे अवेलेबल हैं। लिंक आपको नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। भारत के लगभग सभी हाई कोर्ट और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के अधिवक्ता इन किताबों का उपयोग करते हैं। अगर आपको सोमानी जी की गाइडेंस अच्छी लगती है तो नीचे कमेंट बॉक्स में जरूर लिखें और अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करना ना भूलें। हाँ, अगर आपने चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो सब्सक्राइब कर लें और बेल आइकन को दबाना ना भूलें, ताकि हमारा कोई भी नया वीडियो आता है उसका अपडेट आपको मिल सके। जय हिंद।